There is a weed growing in your backyard right now that Roman emperors once paid gold for. For 2,000 years, it was one of the most prized medicinal plants on Earth. Entire civilizations ate it, healed with it, and built their pharmacies around it. The World Health Organization still recognizes it as one of the most important medicinal plants on the planet. Today, we spray it with Roundup and throw it in the trash, and we have absolutely no idea what we are destroying. That flat little weed with the reddish stem sprawling across your driveway or creeping through the cracks in your patio? It has a name: purslane, Portulaca oleracea. And if you live anywhere in the continental United States, there is a very good chance it is growing within 100 feet of where you are sitting right now. Most homeowners see it and reach for a bottle of weed killer. Lawn care companies charge you to poison it. Your neighbors judge you if you let it spread. But here is what nobody is telling you. That little weed you are trying to kill might be the single most nutritious plant you will ever find growing wild in your own yard. And the story of how it went from ancient treasure to modern garbage is one of the strangest cover-ups in the history of food. Let us start with the Romans, because that is where this story gets ridiculous. In the 1st century, a man named Pliny the Elder, one of the most influential scientists in the history of the Roman Empire, wrote extensively about purslane. He documented its use for healing wounds, soothing stomach ailments, and reducing fevers. He even recommended that Romans wear amulets containing purslane to ward off sickness and evil. This was not some fringe folk remedy. This was mainstream Roman medicine. The Greek physician Dioscorides, personal doctor to Roman soldiers, included it in De Materia Medica, one of the most important medical texts ever written, a text that doctors referenced for the next 1,500 years. Meanwhile, on the other side of the world, Chinese healers were calling purslane the vegetable for long life and prescribing it for everything from blood disorders to intestinal infections. The ancient Egyptians cultivated it. Indian Ayurvedic practitioners revered it. For 4,000 years, across every major civilization, purslane was not a weed. It was pharmacy, food, and sacred medicine rolled into one. Before we continue, I am happy to hear from you in the comments. What is the wildest weed you have found growing in your yard? I want to hear your story. Alright, back to the deep dive. So how did one of the most valued plants in human history end up on Roundup's kill list? That part is actually painfully simple. When European colonists arrived in North America, they brought purslane with them. It grew everywhere, effortlessly, in every type of soil, in every climate. And in a culture that began to define beauty as a perfectly uniform, chemically maintained green lawn, anything that grew on its own without permission became the enemy. The American lawn is not natural, by the way, it is an invention. A status symbol borrowed from European aristocracy and turned into a suburban arms race. And by the 20th century, the American lawn care industry had become a $76 billion machine. Nearly half of all homeowners now spray post-emergent herbicides on their property. The herbicide market alone is worth over $11 billion. One of the most commonly used chemicals in those products is 2,4-D, an ingredient that traces its origin to Agent Orange, the defoliant the US military sprayed across Vietnam. 14 of the 30 most commonly used lawn pesticides are classified as neurotoxins or suspected carcinogens. Americans use 10 times more chemical pesticides on their lawns than farmers use on their crops. Let that land for a second. We are spraying cancer-linked chemicals on the ground where our kids play and our dogs roll around. To kill a plant the World Health Organization recognizes as one of the most used medicinal plants on Earth. The World Health Organization gave purslane a special designation. It is called Global Panacea. And when you look at the science, you will understand why. Modern laboratory analysis has confirmed what the ancients already knew, but with numbers that are almost hard to believe. Purslane contains 5 times more omega-3 fatty acids than spinach. It has 6 times more vitamin E and 7 times more beta-carotene than carrots. It has 10 times more total fatty acids than either spinach or kale. 184 distinct phytochemicals have been identified in the plant. It contains more omega-3 than any other land-based plant ever tested. That is not a typo. The richest terrestrial source of omega-3 on Earth is the weed growing in your driveway. And unlike fish oil, purslane contains zero cholesterol. Peer-reviewed studies published in the Journal of the American College of Nutrition confirmed that a single 100-gram serving of fresh purslane leaves provides 300 to 400 milligrams of alpha-linolenic acid, 12 milligrams of vitamin E, and almost 27 milligrams of vitamin C. Researchers have documented anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, anti-diabetic, and even anti-cancer properties. And none of this is hidden. It is published. It is peer-reviewed. It is sitting in government databases. We just do not talk about it because there is no money in telling people that their most powerful superfood is free and growing in their backyard. And purslane is not alone. Right next to it, in almost every yard in America, you will find another so-called weed called broadleaf plantain. Not the banana, the low-growing herb with the oval leaves and the parallel veins. Pliny the Elder called it an infallible remedy. Dioscorides prescribed it for wound healing and burns. Alexander the Great reportedly used it for headaches. The Anglo-Saxons listed it as one of their 9 sacred healing herbs. Shakespeare even wrote about it in Romeo and Juliet. Native Americans called it white man's foot because it followed European settlers everywhere they went, and today, we mow it down without a second thought. Here is what kills me. In France, purslane is called pourpire, and you can buy it at any farmer's market. In Mexico, it is verdolaga, and it is a beloved ingredient in everyday cooking. Across the Mediterranean, it is a salad staple that people eat for pleasure, not just for health. But in America, the country that spends more on supplements and health food than any nation on Earth, we classify it as a noxious weed and spend billions engineering chemicals to destroy it. We are literally poisoning ourselves to kill something that could be healing us. So, the next time you see that little flat-leafed plant with the reddish stems pushing through a crack in your sidewalk, maybe do not reach for the spray bottle. Maybe reach for a salad bowl instead. Wash it, chop it up, and throw it in a salad or a smoothie. It has a mild, slightly lemony taste that people in the Mediterranean have been enjoying for centuries. 4,000 years of human civilization already figured out that this plant is extraordinary. Modern science has confirmed it with peer-reviewed data. The only thing standing between you and one of the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet is a marketing campaign that convinced you it was trash. And that should make you furious. We cover stories like this every week. Plants you were told were worthless, that turned out to be priceless. If that sounds like your kind of rabbit hole, make sure you subscribe to the channel.